Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy time zones, people. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name's GD. This is 7 Days 2.5 Stable, and we're going to be looking at the new smell mechanic. So there are a couple of videos out on the channel that kind of look into it a little bit. I looked into the experimental branch, and when stable dropped, I did another little video on that. But today, I want to take you through the entire smell mechanic and let you know what it does and how you can cure it. I suppose it's the wrong word to use, but how you can stop your smell and what gives you the smell on the distances and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's get straight into it. Now, on me, you can see I have all of this food and a parcel that is wrapped as well. And I do not have a smell distance at all. That is because I am not holding any raw meat, and I have not eaten anything. So the smell occurs when you eat. It's a little bit strange to me. It is either flatulence from eating that causes the smell, or it's just the smell of opening a can of something, taking like a plate of food. That creates a smell. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, we get a smell from eating. Now, most of the food that you can cook has a smell to it. So you can see here, like the grilled corn, the corn bread, baked potatoes and eggs all have a smell distance of 10. All cans have a smell distance of 25. And then you've got grilled meat, boiled meat, and blueberry pies and all of that kind of stuff. That's all 25 smell distance. And then you start getting into the bigger stuff, the stews, the tacos, the hot dogs, the bacon and eggs, which we rely on so heavily early game. They have a smell distance of 50. And then you come up to like the honey brisket. That has a smell distance of 100. Now, 100 is the maximum amount of smell distance you can get. So if you eat 3 lots of bacon and eggs, it will only go up to 100 smell distance, even though you've eaten 3 and it should be 150. So 100 radius is, well, I say radius, it doesn't actually say, it just says smell distance. So I don't know whether it's a radius around us or whether it's in a direct line. So 100 meters in front, 100 meters behind, or what, I don't know. So it will only ever go up to 100 distance. Okay, so then you've got stuff like the drinks, they do nothing at all. But then you do have like the new honey stuff. As I said, excuse me, as I said, it does give you that smell distance. Now, anything you can get out of the ground does not. So you've got mushrooms, pumpkins, yucca fruit, potatoes, all of those kind of things, the corn, all of those, they do not have a smell distance. So you can go around and you can pick all of them up, and you do not have to worry about a smell distance with those. You can pick up as many of those as you want. So now, when you do need to eat, you are going to be better off if you can eat while you are indoors. As you can see, this has a smell distance of 50. Now, if we eat said item while we are in the house, our smell distance is only 10 meters. So the smell distance doesn't travel as far if you are indoors. So there is a, I feel there is a reason now to eat maybe overnight. If you can get your food so it is okay throughout the day, then you can just eat at night while you're in your base, or like me, what I normally do anyway is if I find food whilst I am looting a house, I'll stick it in me anyway, and I'll just eat it, But if you do have to, let me get rid of that. But if you do have to, if you have to eat whilst you are outside, let me just use one of those, and you get that distance starts to climb up, 28, 33, 30, and all of a sudden you can hear your player goes, yeah, things have happened. If you find yourself a water source, now be careful, because we do have wetness, cold, and heat now that can all affect you and potentially kill you. But if you dip yourself in here, get yourself, I think it's 3% wet, 7% wet. When you get yourself 7% wet, your smell buff or debuff goes away. So there is a way to rectify that smell mechanic. So you can literally go and take a shower or have a wash. Now, it also disappears when it rains. As you can hear, it's a typical British weather. Sun shining and it's bloody well raining. So if I eat another one of these, I'm in the doorway, so I think it's going to give me the full smell mechanic, and it is, because we are in the doorway, so we are technically outside. But because it is raining, we don't have to go and dunk ourselves now. We can just come out, get ourselves a little bit wet. It's actually 5%, and it disappears. So rain works. It works also when it's snowing. Now, as I said, if you're in those biomes where it's cold, if you're in the winter biome, you are going to have to think about things before you get yourself wet or whatever. But there is that mechanic there to help you to get rid of that smell if you want to. One of the other things that you have to worry about is carrying raw meat. As you can see, I have a 10-meter radius of smell. Now that is because I am carrying 5 raw meat. Now I can't remember, because to be honest, all I ever used to do was make bacon and eggs. So bacon and eggs still requires raw meat and eggs, but a lot of the other stuff doesn't. It requires cooked meat or animal fat. So your meat stews, your vegetable stews, you're not going to have meat in that anyway, but the meat stews and stuff like that, they're only going to need animal fat. Your steak and potatoes, that requires cooked meat and potatoes. So there are a few differences, I think, in the actual ingredients that you need to cook stuff now. But the way you can get rid of, if you're carrying raw meat, you can package them in paper, and then that will give you the raw meat bundle. So if you do this, if you click on recipes now, you can now do a raw meat bundle. So if you carry 4 pieces of meat, you get no smell whatsoever. It's not a thing. It has to be 5 or more. And for every 5 you carry, you get a 10-meter radius of smell. But all you need is you need 1 bit of paper and 1 plant fiber, and your 5 meat, craft it up. That will give you the meat package. They stack as well, which is good to know, and then that disappears. So if you are going to go out on a hunting spree, then you are going to have to make sure that you have paper and plant fibers, and those are 2 things that I drop a lot. I don't think I grab plant fibers mainly by accident if I'm going to go and punch something or pick up a flower or something like that, you know. But so yeah, so you've really got to think about your hunting and stuff now, because now also if you go and hunt a deer or a snake or a boar or something like that, that will now attract zombies as well. So that will also create, I mean it used to anyway, but I think they're more drawn to that now than they are drawn to the player, because I had a zombie coming directly at me, and then I killed a snake, I think, and the zombie took its eyes off of me and went straight for the snake, which is kind of cool. I like the idea that you can kind of lure them off with meat. You can't, I kind of wish you could like drop a piece of meat and then like the zombie would go over there and then you could just go off and do whatever you needed to do. But I mean, that's probably a long way off. So I think that's pretty much about it. If there's anything else that you need to know, or you feel like I've left anything out, drop me a comment in the comment section. But I think we've pretty much gone through everything. You now know about wrapping up the meat to stop it from smelling. You know that there are some tiny foods that don't create a smell. You know, cans and meats and all that kind of stuff. We've gone through that. Washing yourself to get rid of the smell. The smell not being quite as long a distance if you are indoors. The rain and the snow washes you as well if you have that smell. I think that's pretty much about it. So I hope this video has been informative for you. If it has, drop a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Those 3 things are free and they really, really, really help out the channel. So please drop that like, drop that comment, hit that subscribe button, but more importantly, look out yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one.